Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. So, Halo Master Chief Collection will be a backwards compatible title on the Series X and Series S. And there's been a lot of questions. We already have seen updates in regards to load times for some of these backwards compatible titles and stuff. But then you get into the discussion of ray tracing and how this will be adapted on stuff. Because we have like the auto HDR and all sorts of like technical graphical upgrades and stuff to older titles, you know, the Xbox optimization stuff for the Series X, and it's exciting to find out about and to learn more and to hear the responses that certain development studios and developers and, you know, Phil Spencer and everybody. There's so much information coming out. We're 8 days away, less than 8 days away, probably about a week when you're watching this video. We just got an article from 343, who is the ones developing Halo Master Chief Collection and Halo Infinite. This is in regards to ray tracing for Master Chief Collection. We're going to read this from VG247.com. If this is your first time coming to the channel, I want you guys to go ahead and click the red subscription button down over here. Help get me to 75,000 subscribers. So here we go. 343 response to fans asking for ray tracing in Halo, the Master Chief Collection on Xbox Series X and S. Microsoft and 343 Industries have shared more information about the next-gen version of Halo, the Master Chief Collection, in a new blog. So this is a big update about it, the next-gen version of it, because it was already confirmed it would have upgraded visuals, processing, texture stuff, all that. I made a video about this earlier this last week. So the publisher and developer confirmed the next-gen version of the Master Chief Collection would be arriving for Xbox X and S on November 17th, back in October, and now more info has been shared about the ports too. So fans have been asking 343 about how likely it is the game will include ray tracing at some point in its life, and senior Matt Hohl has said that the studio has at least acknowledged the idea. So ray tracing is like one of the newest graphical things to be out there for this next gen, and it has some good features. It has some good stuff. We looked at a thing of Watch Dogs Legion using ray tracing on the Xbox Series X. Nice little graphical display of power and realisticness and stuff like that. So this is what he says. This is what Hohl says on Halo Waypoint. I'm personally excited to see what we can do with the power of this new hardware in the future. The complexity and scope of MCC poses unique challenges that I'm still learning about, but I love the opportunities it offers for how we can roll out new features and enhancements in the future. So they're not totally taking it out. They said they've considered it. They're personally excited to see what they can do with the new power, the new toys that they got to play with the Xbox Series X and even the S. And that there's a lot of unique challenges, especially when it comes to backwards compatibility and porting over titles with a new next-gen version and stuff. It's challenging for developers, and I'm sure it's not easy, especially with the amount of stuff that goes into upgraded hardware and stuff. So he says, one thing I've already learned here is that the team listens to community as a crucial element to our planning. I love that, and I'm excited to see what we can do together in the future. So evidently the 343 team is listening to the community suggestions, taking everything into account. And it says, while ray tracing may not be on the cards, at least in the short term, there are plenty of other upgrades players can look forward to. So he goes on to list some of the upgrades that they have on here. So ray tracing is not in the short-term plans, unfortunately. It says, first, there's raw performance improvement across the board. Hull notes, players with compatible displays will be able to experience up to 120 frames per second at 4K on Series X and 1080p on Series S. This was a big engineering effort as each game within MCC has unique performance challenges. While there are similarities to the efforts on the PC versions of each game, the work to do this on Series X and S is not always the same and included some unique challenges. So, you know, even though the efforts from the PC, there's efforts on PC versions, it's not always the same on console and each version. So, I mean, the Xbox Series X version is going to run differently on the Series S because, of course, resolution and different things like that. So, it's an engineering effort for each version of the game, especially with the collection, because Master Chief Collection has multiple Halo games. So, this is not as easy as just putting it on a console and calling it a day and throwing ray tracing on it. So he goes on to say, regardless of whether players have a display set for 120 FPS, we have also included some graphical enhancements to the game, such as increased draw distances within levels and improved split-screen experiences in campaign and multiplayer. So draw distance is a big thing for me in FPSs. And they say, I can't wait until everyone gets to experience these loading times. A personal favorite for me is the added FOV slider. So, they are taking note, but it isn't... At least it was a response, right? 343 is responding to consumers and players about everything. And this has been a pretty good thing on Microsoft's behalf. Phil Spencer has been on board. I believe the other person, I can't remember their name at the time. There's been like almost every bigwig involved with most projects on Xbox, from Halo to the actual hardware, have been good about responding to fan requests, fan inquiries, and stuff like that. So this is another example. Pretty exciting time, though. Master Chief Collection should be a lot of fun. Should hold us over until Halo Infinite comes out sometime in 2021. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I appreciate you guys coming and watching and showing your support. I'll see you on the next one.